Alright, if you've watched my AK video where me and my buddy took out two of my AKs, shot a bunch of random stuff with them, you will have seen the Yugo underfold. I think it's the M70AB2, and in the video, yeah, that was the first time shooting this rifle. I just picked it up at a gun show recently. I actually traded one of my other guns for it. And it's as soon as I saw it on the table, I'm like, oh man! I'd never been an AK fan really until I got my Wasser 10, and I've really enjoyed that. But I never thought I'd end up buying another one. But like I said, once I saw it on the table, I was like, something inside me said, I gotta have that. So that's what I did. The underfold stock, which is kind of unique. I don't like the side folders. I actually like the underfold. It's kind of a cool design. When I first got it, it was really loose, and there's a way you can actually tighten it. There's a nut underneath this. Might be on the other side, actually. I don't remember. I'm not going to pick it up and play around with it right now. But you punch this pin out. Once you get the nut exposed, you got to push on the other side, and it pops this cover off. And there's a couple of holes, and one of them will have this roll pin in there, and you got to punch that out. Just tap it out with something as long as it's small enough to fit in that hole, and then you can spin that nut so it's tighter. Well, it took me probably about 5 minutes to play around with that, figure out how to do it, and tighten up the stock to where it doesn't rattle at all. It's super tight. That's kind of typical for AK stuff, I think, is what I've kind of seen, especially these, assembled parts. AKs, that stuff tends to be kind of loose, wobbly, all that stuff. The mag wobble, a lot of people say it's no big deal. It doesn't affect the functionality of the gun or the magazine. I think it still works just fine. I'd never had any issues with it, but it's pretty common. But you can get magazines that fit slightly better. You just gotta kind of see what's out there. There's actually another type of AK mag that I have that actually fits this gun really nice. The Yugo mags in general, I think most of them are the bolt hold open mags. Don't have any of those, but I'd look to try to get some of those in the future. But anyways, so yeah, that was one of the problems that I had with the rifle right from the get-go. Was just the stock was really loose, but no big deal. Tighten it up. Took, like I said, about 5 minutes of my time. A little bit of research to find out where I could tighten it, but once I figured it out, once I read about it, there's a lot of information out there on the internet. So, unfortunately, that was true. Unlike what they say, the internet's always got a bunch of bull crap. Anyways, so far I really like it. I put probably about 100 and some rounds through it that day. Kind of sucked because I burned up a lot of the 7.62x39 that I had on hand, but now that I have two of these, I'm definitely going to start looking for that a lot more. And I have to say, I really like this one. I loved my Wasser 10, but I really like this one even more. This one has a thicker receiver. I don't know what the dimensions are, thickness, but I know it's thicker than your standard AKs. And I just Yugo rifles in general, this goes for any Yugo, I've always found to be of a much higher quality. They tend to mill more stuff. They tend to, take their time. The fit and finish is almost always top notch. Mausers, Yugo M48, Yugo M2447s, all that stuff, those have always been built like tanks, ultra reliable. Another thing I like about this is it's got a chrome bolt, or at least a in the white, polished almost kind of bolt. And to me, I think, I don't know, I've always liked that better. Kind of looks cool, but I think functionality might be a bit smoother. Otherwise, that's not much more I have to say about it. It's got the grenade launcher sight attachment on the top. That's kind of loose. I might try to figure out if there's a way to tighten it up, or I might just kind of put something in there just to kind of tighten it down so it doesn't rattle so much. The handguard, the top one's still a bit loose too, typical for AKs. The bottom one was loose, but I tightened that up. Um, I mean, that stuff, you know, if it bothers you, it kind of bothers me occasionally, and I might do something about it. Otherwise, it is what it is. It's a fun rifle. So, but yeah, basically, the rifle itself, it came with the sling on it, and I love the wood on it. I know a lot of these came with synthetic stocks. I'm not a big fan of the synthetic. That's just, you know, not my bag. But it has the, I guess, paracord kind of wrapped around for you know, where you got where your cheek is resting. That's kind of cool. I don't know if they came like that. The guy I bought it from must have put it on there. But that's cool, because otherwise, you know, I was shooting this in like I think it was 11 below wind chill weather, you know, single digits otherwise, and having your cheek against something metal, even if it is this thin, it's still metal and it's still freezing. So that's kind of nice to have that there. But yeah, I mean, the stock folds pretty easily. It goes around the magazine, and let me remove the sling here, get out of the way. But folds open, locks into place. Like I said, there's no wobble at all. It's super tight. What you hear is like the wobble of the rest of the gun, like the handguard up the front. But there's no play at all. And even in this is tight too. But very nice. Like I said, it's part of the Yugo. I think, anyways, it's just kind of the Yugo rifle kind of way of things. They're all quality, kind of overbuilt, but that's all right. So yeah, just a quick little view rundown showing, I guess, of my Yugo M70AB2 AK underfold. Like I said, I'm kind of getting into the AK scene, and it's kind of growing on me. I didn't think I was ever going to be really into them. I never really thought I'd even own one of them. And I have to say, I have an AR-15. I love shooting it. However, I think 9 times out of 10, if I was going to go shooting today or tomorrow or whenever, I think I'd actually prefer the AK to go out and plank with and play around with. You shoot non-corrosive ammo. It's something you really don't even need to worry about cleaning for, you know, quite a while. And I prefer to try to clean mine, but I don't always get a chance to. So knowing that the gun can run in pretty much any condition, no matter what, is pretty nice. And with a gun that, you know, is about half the cost of an AR-15, that's also pretty nice too. That makes it enjoyable in itself. The AR-15 tends to be pretty high priced. Not still, you know, people think it's finicky. I don't think so. I think they're ultra reliable as well if you take care of it. But that's the whole thing. There's a lot of people that don't like to take care of firearms, and don't want to clean them very often, and that's when you get the issues with the AR-15. So, but the AK can run in pretty much anything. I'd prefer not to shoot any corrosive ammo if I don't have to. I'll stick with like bolt guns. When it comes to corrosive ammo, I'd prefer not to have to clean, you know, a million different things. You got a gas port going into the gas piston up here. Obviously cleaning it's not overly complicated, but it's all the more stuff you have to make sure you clean thoroughly when shooting corrosive ammo. So that's just something I prefer. But anyways, enough rambling. It's already almost 10 minutes, so I'll keep it at that. Look for future videos, more detail, and of course more shooting of the Yugo and the Wasser AKs. But I love the rifle. If anybody has a chance to pick one up, I know the prices are still kind of high. They went through the roof during the whole craze recently, but that's kind of getting back to normal now. So hopefully, if you are out there looking for one of these, hopefully you can find one for a decent price, because I can guarantee you, even no matter what the price is really, as long as it's somewhat reasonable, you really can't go wrong with it. I think everybody who gets one will thoroughly enjoy it.